Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand, or hola, you are in Spain. So what we're talking about tonight, it's Manchester United news as per usual, and Manchester United players backing Jose Mourinho is quite an interesting point to talk about, but I want to start signing. They're not going to be signing Willian because Sarri has come out today, as I said earlier this morning, that he will be Willian will be staying at Chelsea. So Mourinho wants a right midfielder. It won't be Willian. It's not going to be Rebic because he's going to Sevilla. So you start to wonder who it might be. And I think that in relation to Manchester United at the moment, the situation is that there is not many right midfield candidates out there that we can go for. And let's be totally honest, the transfer window is so shambolic when it comes to Manchester United at the moment that maybe we need to be a little bit positive, and maybe there is going to be something that is really going to make us sit up and go, wow, that's really good. I do feel, like I said this morning, that we will get a situation where we get Alderweireld. I think Alderweireld will happen. I hope that it doesn't mean that we're going to get Danny Rose. But Perisic, I was a big fan of Perisic a year ago. I know a lot of United fans were like, who's Perisic? Blah, blah, blah. Don't want Perisic, he's not a big enough name. But I tell you what, if we'd have pulled it off last year, we would have been a much better team. If we can pull it off this summer, we'll be a much better team. He's absolutely brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. He's very consistent. He's two-footed. He's hard-working. He's tall. He's skillful. He's fast. He can put a cross into the box. He's exactly what Manchester United should want. Moshin says family comes first. Mate, literally, I'll spin it round for you. That's the bar where all my family in. I've been in there for the last hour and a half, popping over 20 minutes while they're all waving at me. Just have a little chat with you lots, no problem at all. And also, it's a very important week with Manchester United at the moment, and I do sort of feel a responsibility to go live because we've got a great community on the United Stand, and yet, I've been on holiday for 3 days now, and there's part of me thinking, 1 week to go with the transfer window, it's going to kick off, and I'm going to have to go, can I just pop out for 10 minutes, we've just signed somebody else. And 3 days into this holiday, I'm going on Twitter and I'm going on the latest internet news, and I'm seeing sod all, absolutely nothing. I'm sort of glad that I've not been able to do the transfer dailies at 7 a.m. because I am on holiday, because I don't know what I would talk to you about. There is absolutely nothing going on. It really is bad. I mean, Kieran Burns says Perisic is 29 and a half. I mean, that is a problem, Kieran, and we probably would spend more than we did last year on him. That is a problem, and I totally agree with you. But having said that, beggars can't be choosers. It's the last minute now. In this transfer window, there's now 6 days to go. We're going into the weekend as well, and I think the most worrying thing for many Manchester United fans is that thanks for that, Christopher, lovely comment there from you, Christopher Williams. The worrying thing is we're going into a weekend, but as I always say about Manchester United, you normally get wind of a deal before it's going to happen, and there are things happening around Alderweireld which make me think, oh, it's going to happen, but there's nothing going on about anybody else, and it's very difficult. Look, you pay your money as a fan, you pay your money, you pay your price, but you can't, it's not like a new car, you don't trade it in when it's, sometimes manufacturers will do a new car and you'll buy it, you'll think it's really good, it's not that good, and you send it back. In this situation, Manchester United, they're not a new car. They're like a puppy at Christmas. They're not just for Christmas. They're for life. And Manchester United, we're not going anywhere. We're always going to support Manchester United, and I think the fans, the club to some extent, know that and play us off that. So it is difficult. It is difficult for us, and there's a lot of people like moaning, saying, "Oh, if we only sign Alderweireld, or if we just sign Yerry Mina, we strike, or we get the scarves out or whatever." But do we really? I mean, I don't know. I think until that is a reality, I still remain positive that we will get some deal done. But it's difficult. It's difficult at the moment to see what's going to happen. The reality is, I think, with regards to next week, it's going to be a really long week. For Manchester United. I think that the transfer window closes on Thursday at 5 o'clock. I don't think anything's going to happen this weekend, but you've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and things can happen quite quickly. And I think things need to happen quite quickly. But again, I've heard so many of you lot saying that Manchester United are like Arsenal. We're happy with top four. But what did Arsenal used to do under Wenger? They'd need a load of signings, and then right before the transfer window closed, they'd go and make a load of signings. Like, I remember them doing it a couple of times under Wenger. Sort of like the last couple of days, they're making big signings. And I remember, like, we've only had Mourinho a couple of years, but every transfer deadline, I don't think we've ever signed anybody on transfer deadline day. And transfer deadline day signings, or close to it, are desperation. And I think that around Manchester United is difficult. I know what you're on about in the live comments. Don't tell me I don't give you anything. Anyway, let's see. I've been told that Perisic is very much what Manchester United are looking to do. Willian was always the target, but yet again, they can't get Willian out of Chelsea. Mourinho wanted Willian 2 years ago, couldn't get the deal done. I think he thought there might be a chance this summer, but because of Conte, if Conte had stayed at Chelsea, we probably had a really good chance of getting Willian. But because he's not stayed there, it's made it quite difficult for him. So that's not going to happen, which is a shame. Which is a shame if you like Willian. But I'd prefer Perisic. He's younger. But another one, I'll throw another name out for you. Ousmane Dembele wants to leave Barcelona. The problem is it's the fee. He's more likely to go to Liverpool or Arsenal on loan because they've got good relationships with Barcelona. An outright buy for a player who cost £135 million is unlikely, and United don't deal in loans of that magnitude. So yeah, it's I'm looking around at what you're all looking at as well. So yeah, that's interesting. You find. So yeah, that's interesting as well. The situation becomes quite difficult because you've got players who are backing Jose Mourinho as well, and well, players like Romelu Lukaku have come out and backed Mourinho, which is interesting as well. So I do wonder about that, and I wonder about what is going on with that situation. But Romelu Lukaku backing Manchester United and backing Mourinho, it was always going to happen because he is the player that he wanted. And let's not forget, us as fans as well were backing Mourinho. Sorry, not us. I'm losing my focus a little bit here because somebody's trying to tell me something, and I'm trying to sort of figure out what's going on with that as well. But he's come out and backed Jose Mourinho, which is what he always seems to do, because Romelu Lukaku himself was a player that didn't get backed by the fans at a time around October last time, so he had to come out and fight for him. So that situation is to be expected, I think, from Jose Mourinho and Romelu Lukaku as well. I would expect that. It is what it is. It's all right. Somebody was just saying to me one of the kids has gone missing, so I was a little bit panicked. But I can see her there. It's not even my bloody responsibility to be looking after the kids. Don't wander off from there. Yeah, stay around here. Panic. This is it. You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful. Not even on my watch. Everyone knows I'm bloody live. I'd really like to see Perisic or right midfield. Okay, Michael Collins. Have we got any moderators on tonight? Good. So, Vaughan says my missus does the same on her holiday. Oh, it's always the same, isn't it? They start bloody panicking and they're in the toilet or something. Right, let me clarify what I was trying to say there, because we lost a little bit of focus. I wasn't trying to look at the girl behind me who's been gone for ages. So the situation is that Lukaku has come out and backed Mourinho, saying he's a cool guy. But if anybody saw a video that was on Chevrolet a couple of months ago, it had Lukaku on and I think Pogba, and they were doing jokes, and Lukaku said, moody player. And he was talking about Martial because they were trying to guess players off a couple of words. And I thought to myself, look, I really like Lukaku, but let's not. It's difficult for United fans because I love Lukaku and I support Mourinho. But if you don't support Mourinho, you've almost got a bit of an issue with Lukaku, because Lukaku lives up Mourinho's backside. They are like absolutely together 100%, and Lukaku often comes out to back Mourinho. And I think what's going on at United at the moment is they're spinning this like a bottle top. They are spinning it big time, because Ryan Downs says, look at the starting lineup now compared to when Jose started. Sanchez, Lukaku, Pogba, Fred instead of Blind and Klo. I love United stand, enjoy Mallorca. Well, I think, Ryan, you've just nailed the head. You've absolutely smashed it there, mate. You've absolutely smashed it, because I don't dispute that. And that's one of the things I would always say. Look at the team compared to when Van Gaal was here. And, I nearly said Van Gaal, because what he actually has done is he's got rid of a lot of those players. The Darmians will go, the Blind will go, obviously the Schneidlins, the Schweinsteigers, the Memphis. The Deadwood has gone that Van Gaal was allowed to buy and Woodward allowed to happen. But the problem with Mourinho is that, yes, we've got Pogba, we've got Sanchez, we've got all these good players, but they're not playing to the best of their ability, are they? And that's Mourinho's problem. It's the best of the ability that he's struggling with. But going back to what I was saying there, so you've got this bit of an issue, because Lukaku will back Mourinho 100%, and absolutely loves him. But then you've got this issue with Martial. And I think what the club are doing at the moment is, I don't really know because I'm away, I don't really understand what's going on with Martial. You've got this whole, he's going to get a couple of weeks fined, wages, but clearly anybody with a brain and an ounce of sympathy would feel for Martial, because his partner was, had a difficult birth, and at the end of the day, everybody in the UK gets 2 weeks paternity leave. But then they've got your club throwing that out to try and turn us against Martial. Then today you've got Lukaku coming out saying Mourinho's a cool guy. Club know that Lukaku is popular with the fans, so that will make them like Mourinho. So the club at the moment are throwing a lot of things out to sort of spin a positive with Manchester United and try and make the fans like Mourinho and be positive with the situation, which is, totally understandable. I don't disagree with that. But hope you're enjoying yourself. Miss you, bud, says Mad Marcus. Cheers, pal. I'm going to speak to you on Sunday. But it's a shame you're not here, mate. It'd be nice having a few sangrias. We'll have to have a United stand get together in Mallorca in a couple of years if we keep growing. That would be epic. But no, the situation at United is an odd one, because they're trying to spin this positivity around the club, which, as I said, I do agree with, because you need that. But I don't think United fans are Chelsea fans. We're not stupid. We're absolutely on the ball with this. And so many people are just absolutely infuriated by this transfer window. And I'll keep saying it, because United stand has always been about real fan opinion. It's always about, saying how it is. And this is my opinion, but I think it's a lot of opinions as well. The situation is that we lost the title by a long way last season. We finished second and Jose Mourinho did a good job, but we lost the title by a long way last year. And what have we done over the summer to try and rectify that? Manchester United, forget England, we should be trying to be the best club in the world. The reality is, and I don't think I've said this before, the reality is that Manchester United are embarrassed every time that they don't win the league, because we are the biggest club in England and we should be winning the league. So last season we absolutely had our pants pulled down. We got absolutely embarrassed. What efforts have we made over the summer to rectify that embarrassment? A third choice goalkeeper, a young right back, and Fred. Fred's a good signing, but one signing to rectify the massive holes in that squad. And I do believe we're going to get a centre back. But I'll tell you this now, if it's Yerry Mina, I'm going to go absolutely apeshit. And I don't like to swear, and it's nothing against Yerry Mina, he could be a really good signing. But if we sign Yerry Mina, he's not better than Bailly, he's not better than Lindelof, and I'd argue he's not better than Smalling. But most important of all, it would absolutely smack of the desperation and shambles this transfer window has been, because he is definitely 100% not the right Manchester United. He was not a target for Manchester United back in May. He was not a Jose Mourinho target. Never in a million years would Jose Mourinho have sat there at the end of the season and gone up to Ed Woodward and say, I really want Yerry Mina. And Ed Woodward would have gone, what? Who's he? And most of you would have gone, who's he? I'm not having a pop at Ed Woodward there. But that's exactly the point. There's no way Jose Mourinho was like, I'm not totally happy with my centre-backs, Ed. I want Yerry Mina. Woodward goes, I've never heard of him. Well, he plays for Colombia. He's just gone to Barcelona, but he's not good enough for them. And I think he can solve our problems. And Ed Woodward, if he's had his head screwed on, would say, but I've already bought you Bailly and Lindelof. Why aren't you playing them? Oh yeah, but he's not actually that much better than them. So Yerry Mina is just a total and utter desperation signing, and I would rather sign nobody than him. Lynn Hall says Mina could be good, but way too big a risk, and that's the problem. We need and she says it. We need a leader at centre back. It's simple as that. Mourinho gave a list before the World Cup. It has to be Alderweireld, says Kieran Byrne. I believe it will be Kieran. I absolutely believe it will be. But I got a lot of stick on Twitter today because people want to believe journalists and stuff, and I've been told that Spurs want Martial. They've not done any business, Spurs. All they want is Martial. They've got money, they've got about £100 million. All they want is Anthony Martial. That's what they want. We want Alderweireld. And I got a load of stick on Twitter today because everyone's like, you don't know anything, you're talking crap, we're not going to give him Martial. And I don't think we will give him Martial. But they do want Zaha as well, Peter B. But if you could pick between Zaha and Martial, you'll take Martial. Thanks for everything you do. I'm new, says Joseph Lackey. Cheers, Joseph. Well, look, you know what? It's not a hardship to sit on a beach and go live with you lot for 20 minutes. In fact, it's quite enjoyable. So yeah, please do drop a like on the video if you enjoy it. We'll have a couple more for you tomorrow as well. It's so bloody... The reality is, it's so hot that it's a nice little break just to pop inside, get the aircon on and do a little bit of look around what's going on. Tyler Rooney says, get rid of Martial, please. You know what? I've always said there's a sadistic part of me that would love to see Martial go to Spurs. I'd hate him to go to Chelsea because I hate Chelsea. But Spurs, I sort of find quite inoffensive. So, yes, I wouldn't mind him going to Spurs as part of the Alderweireld deal, to be honest. I wouldn't, because I want him to go and have a career, and Mourinho's never going to give him that. 75 million for Toby, I'd rather lose the league as empty. I don't know what the prices were being quoted. Everyone's going about 55 million, which I think is about right. But I don't know. I think what's going on at Manchester United at the moment is, and they will suck a few people in. They'll suck a few of the more naive United fans in. They're trying to play this positive spin. That's why Lukaku's come out today and backed Jose. He's probably been chucked an extra little bonus to do that. They want that to happen. They want some positivity around Jose, which I've got to be honest with you, I'm not opposed to that happening. It's very important that there is some positivity going into this new season. We do need a bit of positivity, and I speak to a lot of people involved with the United Stand and on Twitter. You can follow me at Mark Goldbridge. I do reply to tweets when I'm not on holiday, and a lot of people are saying, I'm disgusted, Mourinho out, this, that and the other. And I do consistently say, look, there's two separate things here. There's a transfer window and there's Jose Mourinho's style of football. The transfer window has been an absolute shambles, and I don't know that we can turn it round. I said everything I wanted to say about the transfer window this morning on a different part of the beach. I do it on two different parts of the beach. But what happened is, so what I spoke about it this morning, what the best case scenario and the worst case scenario is. So the transfer window's been bloody shambles. We might turn it around, but to be honest with you, if you're doing whatever happens with this transfer window, there's going to be a big risk attached to it, because no competent club does their business in the last 6 days of a transfer window. And as much as I despise Liverpool, because the rivalry is real, I've got to say, they obviously got their targets set before the summer and they went out and got them. Fekir, they fucked up, but Keita, Fabinho, Alisson, Shaqiri, they obviously highlighted them and they got them done very, very quickly. That's how you do a good transfer window, and United have done it in the past. But we are 6 days to go, and I mean, we might just get one signing. But to be honest with you, is a centre-back going to win us the league? I would say, if I asked you all a question now, and I'm going to read this comment out, what, in relation to last season, what was Manchester United doing wrong? What one area would you improve last season? Now, I always said midfield, and to be fair, Pereira has been a revelation, and I think Fred's a good signing. So we've solved the midfield. I do think there's an element of luck there, because I don't think Jose Mourinho was ever thinking Pereira was going to be the option, but I think he's sort of got him out of jail. If you're then asking me, and I'm thinking about me back in April, March and May, what does this team need to do to close the gap with City? I don't think I ever would have said a centre-back. Shaka Phillips has hit it. Left-back is the area we really need to strengthen. I always would have said left-back. I would have gone midfield, left-back, right midfield, centre-back. That would have been where I've gone. So we've solved the midfield, luckily. We're not going to bother about left-back. We are going to sort centre-back, and we might just get a right midfielder if we get Perisic. But to leave left-back, that's the biggest problem for me. Right, I'm going to whack into some of your comments for the last few minutes or so. Please do drop a like on the video. Got a lovely background for you this Friday evening. Bit of Pedlo's there. I'll spin it around, and I'll spin it around for you there as well. So it doesn't do it justice really. Just having a look over there. So, chuck us some questions, that's what we're here for. Drop a like on the video and subscribe if you're new. This isn't the normal sort of content that we provide, but there we go. I personally think we don't need anyone. Our players need to step up, says Segar. Well, that's a good point. I'm sure you'll get a lot of stick for it, but it is a good point, Segar, because the players have got to come out and back Jose Mourinho, haven't they? Good content nonetheless, says Ray. Rodriguez from Milan would be a decent left back. Moshin, he is very good. He is good. I don't think we'll do it. Where's my vacation? Mark says Irad. I'm in Mallorca, which is an island off Spain. I will crap my pants if we get Rose and Alderweireld for Martial, says Andrew Crichton. You know what? I think a lot of us are probably in the same situation as me. I'm sort of keeping it on the download at the moment. It's downloaded. I haven't watched it. My frustration and anger is on the download because if we get Danny Rose, he's not very good. I nearly swore. Alderweireld's a good signing, but I will always say what I said at the start of the summer. He's short term, 29, a 29-year-old centre-back who's only played half of the last 2 seasons because of injury. It's a big risk for £55 million, but this is what desperation brings to you. I keep saying this to people. This is what desperation brings to you. Even I now, I'm like, we've got to get Alderweireld. We've got to get Alderweireld. Whereas before I would have been like, no, he's 29, £55 million, he's being robbed, but this is what desperation brings. Mike Thomas says, Martial as a mate weight for David Alaba. Alaba can play both left back and centre back, so flexible for both 4-3-3 and 3-5-2. Good deal for both clubs. You see, that is common sense, Mike. You should be our director of football because Woodward hasn't got a clue. Mark is young, too old, or can he last this year at United Stands? His work. Oh, I thought you were talking about me. I think he was saying, can I last the year? He's talking about Ashley Young. See, I read it, Mark is young or too old, or can he last this year? I was thinking, what do you know about me? He's talking about Ashley Young. Ashley Young's going to be like Valencia next season. Sandro over Rose, says Ryan. Come to San Diego, California, says Cade. I will if you put me up. What about Jamel Lascelles, says Unison Pictures. He was formerly at Forest, you know. A lot of people speak about him quite well. Went to Newcastle. It'd be a massive step up for him. Darren O'Brien says, enjoy the holiday. I hope we sign 2 players. It's looking like 2. I think it was exactly 2 weeks ago I said that we're going to make 2 signings, potentially 3. I'll tell you what. What was Zlatan on about? What was Zlatan Ibrahimovic on about with this? Jose's got a few surprises under his sleeve. I mean, I just don't know. Walrus Productions, I've only just started watching the United Stand the other day as I wanted to see your opinion on this shambolic transfer window. Thanks, Walrus Productions. If you've only started watching the United Stand with my beach videos, you're missing out on a lot of decent content, but you're very welcome if you're new anyway. We've got Dimitri Mitchell, says Mark Wandera, who hardly played on the US tour, so there's an interesting subplot. I don't know the answer to this. Maybe some of you do, because I like to throw you questions. Apparently, Angel Gomez has deleted all his connections to Manchester United on Twitter. I don't know whether there's anyone's grasped the story of that, because I'm on holiday, so it's hard to find out. But I suppose worst case scenario, he's annoyed because he went on tour and never got a chance. Best case scenario, it's irrelevant. Guy Griffith says Mina is risky, but can things change at United before Jose stops paying out for ageing big names like Alderweireld? United need to buy young talent. Well, you know what? Actually, I haven't got a problem with Yerry Mina per se. I thought he actually had quite a good World Cup, but I'd never sign a player on that. My issue with Yerry Mina isn't the player. If we sign him, I'll back him. My issue with Yerry Mina is he's not a leader, he's not experienced, and he's not better than what we've got, and he's clearly desperation. That's my problem with Yerry Mina. Zlatan will return on loan around Christmas, says Jonathan. I give up. If he comes back, I give up. Perisic is amazing on the ball, smart, crosses like a legend, big match mentality, good player. Marcus wanted him here for a few seasons now, says Christoph. I have, and I'm sort of hoping it could happen. Top Geezer says Galacticos don't make a team. A player's value is only as much as what he brings to the team. If a player that seems like a bum signing buyers brings balance and helps us challenge for the title, buy them. You know, I agree with that, Top Geezer, and I do think that Alderweireld would improve our centre back. The thing why I don't think that we needed a centre back per se, because I felt that midfield, left back, right midfield were the priority 3 positions, then centre back. But where I do agree with people about signing a centre-back is that Jose Mourinho last season, I don't think he played the right centre-back pairing more than a couple of times. It was just, he kept the same players all the time. And that's what really, I don't understand that with Jose, because when you look at his career, he's always played the same sort of players at centre-back. What you need to win a title is the same centre-backs week in, week out. And what Alderweireld would bring to Manchester United is a centre-back that he's going to play every day, every week. And he needs a centre-back pairing that's going to play every week. And maybe it would be Bailly and Alderweireld, or maybe we would play a three of Lindelof, Alderweireld and Bailly. And with De Gea behind them, you know, the last thing we want to be is more of a defensive team. But if we did buy Alderweireld, we'd have good centre-backs playing, we'd have a world-class goalkeeper. So we wouldn't be conceding many goals, although we'd still have a crap left-back. Shell says he'd still pick Phil Jones. Well, that would be the concern. And remember, Fellaini's still part of the squad. This is something that people are trying not to remember, but it is. I'm back for Bayern, says Mark, have a great holiday, love the channel. I'd rather sign no one than desperation, says Stephen A. You know what, Stephen, I agree with you. I would rather sign nobody than desperation signings. I've got to be honest with you. I know it means we're in a shambles, but I'd rather sign nobody because we've messed up than start doing desperation signings. Can't believe we haven't sold Jones, says Lynn Hall. I don't think we'll sell Martial to Spurs. No, I think it's highly unlikely, Manor. I just know that Spurs desperately want him, and that is what's holding up the Alderweireld deal. But they'll have to sell him. They'll have to sell Alderweireld because it makes sense. There we go. Anyway, please do drop a like on the video, everybody. I've gone on a little bit too long tonight. I need to get back to the bar. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll speak to you all tomorrow morning. It'll probably be around 10 o'clock your time. Let's hope we get some news over the weekend. I'm not holding my breath. I'm not holding my breath. It's been very, very quiet. Very quiet indeed. I'll speak to you all soon. Thanks for watching. You're all bloody brilliant, and really, really do appreciate you tuning in on these shows. It's difficult to give the fans what they want. Imagine and adding Sandro, Perisic and a top centre-back, we could play better football, plus Fred, says Paul Massey. The better we could play, you know what, I'll leave you with this. We could play better football anyway. We've got the players to do it. Jose just needs to let it happen. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Have a good Friday night. And just keep liking the videos, subscribing to the channel and getting involved. It's got something really special here. And we've got some great special things planned for you next week when I get back. So keep getting involved. I'll see you soon.